How you doing, everybody? This is Brian Abarca. Welcome to the Abarcast, and I have a special guest today, my boy Tomasso. I know who you are. Please introduce yourself to the public, the followers, etc.
What's going on, guys? My name is Tommaso Abbattiscianni. I am a real estate agent out of New Jersey, and I am a fitness guy, a fitness influencer, if you want to say. And I'm a gym guy, big gym guy. And I just want to say to Brian, I'm very thankful to be on this podcast today.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you. So one of the main reasons why I invited you to my platform, to my podcast, is because I've noticed that you started a YouTube channel. You started, sharing your journey towards a big competition coming up. You're going to be in a bodybuilding competition. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's Classic Physique.
Correct. Classic Physique.
Yes, and it's September 24th. Hopefully I get invited. I'll be in the stands, bro. I'll be supporting
Brian,
you. I'll have my sign.
Please come.
I'll have my sign coming up. But yeah, man. So you've been training for it for 5 to 6 weeks. Give me a little bit of a summary with that. You don't have to go into details yet, but how long has it been? Has it been difficult? What made you decide to go on the competition? Give me a little bit of a background with that.
Correct. So right now we are about 6.5 weeks in to the prep, and it's been a little bit of a struggle, balancing work, relationships, family life. But besides that, I wanted to start this journey because I've been going to the gym since I was 14 years old, and I've always been around bodybuilding my whole life, growing up around my dad. He was like a big gym guy back in the day, so learning a lot through him was it meant a lot. It meant a lot. So I wanted to take that journey as I got older. I just didn't know when, and I kept saying next year I'm going to take bodybuilding serious. But I'm 26 now. I have no time to waste anymore. So that's why I said this year I have a lot on my plate, especially being new into real estate and leaving my past jobs and everything. It's a lot, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna take the next step and I'm gonna do it. So I'm doing whatever it takes.
Just out of curiosity, you said your father kind of got you into fitness. Unfortunately for me, I never had a father figure. The only father figure I had was my grandfather, and he was really into fitness, but he was 2 generations, behind me. So it was a little different in the aspects of technology, science, etc. Now, just out of curiosity, is he the Puerto Rican or the Italian?
He's the Italian guy. Come on.
All right. So Italians. So this stigma where like Italians are usually
correct,
all about fitness and all that stuff. He's the reason why he got you into it.
Yeah. He got me into it. He wasn't like a bodybuilder or anything, but he was always in the gym and he was always bringing me with him when I was young. He was doing the GTL. Yeah, GTL hard. Like if you know my dad back in the day, this guy was straight Guido. Actually, he was born and raised in Hoboken, which is pretty fun. Yeah, okay. Yeah, OG Guido. So honestly, I wanted to take that next step. Just seeing him, I'm doing this for him because I know that this is something that he always wanted to do, but just never could do it. So. And I also want to shout out my stepdad as well because he's a big gym goer as well. And he has a back disability now, which set him back from pursuing anything. But I'm doing this for not only myself, but specifically for them.
That's great, man. That's great. It sounds good. All right. So give me a general lifestyle outlook of what a bodybuilder goes through, So we kind of touched base on it when we were on the phone the other day, and we were kind of getting to know each other in more in depth. And you told me that your lifestyle is pretty tough. You have to wake up at X, Y, and Z, then go to sleep at X, Y, and Z. Sleep is very important. Give me a little bit of rundown because I'm a personal trainer. I have a lot of clients out there, and they don't want to become a bodybuilder per se, but the discipline and the consistency and the habits of a bodybuilder is something that they look up to, and they might even want to imitate so that they can reach their goals.
Right. Bodybuilding is not easy, dude. Right. I think it builds a lot of character, especially with discipline. Cardio's high. The food's high, especially in the off season. Now the food's low, very low, being in prep. Sleep is critical. It's a 24/7 sport, and I think a lot of people underestimate it when they get in to bodybuilding, and they think that it's going to be easy breezy because they have good genetics, but genetics is just half of the part, like not even half, like probably 30%.
Okay.
You know, lifestyle is literally the 70%, and I think.
So give me a rundown of like what your typical day is, and if you just start speaking close to the mic, like you're almost kissing it.
Gotcha. My typical day is literally wake up probably around 6, 7.
Okay.
Make my breakfast, go to work, rush to work actually because I'm very snaily in the morning. Because being on a calorie deficit, it's not easy. So
you're always tired, right?
Always tired. Not too tired, but tired enough to not want to move in the morning. So then I do that, have my breakfast, go to work, working all day. Probably work is around 12 hours a day. So always on the phone, always making moves, always busy. Showing properties, and also I've been into EMS work as well, so I do that 4 days a week as well. So, prepping at nighttime when I come home.
So you prep every night?
Almost every night, because like I could prep for a couple days, but I don't know. My schedule's so all over the place that like I can't even just set a day to meal prep or do anything that I want to do. Like my schedule's really tight right now, so.
So before we get into macros, just give me a rundown on like what do you have for breakfast? Let's say you say you meal prep every night. So what do you make for meal preps? What do you have for lunch? How many times you eat a day? And then we can kind of get into the dive in like the macros, the grams, etc.
Gotcha. So for breakfast, I'm having cream of rice, scoop of protein powder, and peanut butter. For those who don't know what cream of rice is, it's literally just cream of wheat or like Avena, but rice version.
Yeah, I had no idea what the fuck that was.
It's good. It's cream of rice. I can't. It doesn't.
Is it like rice pudding or?
It's like rice porridge.
Okay.
It's like rice porridge. So I'm eating that, and then my second meal is I have ground beef and potatoes with some broccoli. Third meal's chicken. 7 ounces of chicken with pumpkin puree. Pumpkin puree is actually very, very good for your digestive health, so I added that into my diet with my coach. So I don't have any carbs that meal, which sucks because by midday I'm freaking exhausted.
Right.
Then I have 2 scoops of protein powder, 32 grams of peanut butter, and I drink that in a shake. Oh, and a banana. And then after that is my post-workout meal or my pre-workout meal, and then my post-workout meal.
Gotcha.
So my pre-workout meal is 50 grams cream of rice, scoop of protein powder, 32 grams of peanut butter, and then I also have my post-workout, which is 100 grams of Rice Krispies and 2 scoops of protein powder. That's my favorite meal of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a treat.
It's a lot.
So how many meals do you eat a day in general?
6.
6 meals.
6. And on my rest days, I'm probably having 5 or 4. But they're bigger, a little bit bigger meals, but lower calories.
Gotcha. So what I'm noticing is that every meal you have has a source of protein.
Correct. Every single meal.
Is that what you consider what makes up a meal?
For me, realistically, I like carbs. So protein is literally nothing.
Yeah.
But you need the proteins for bodybuilding to stay. You want your skin to stay, like the muscles to stay tight to your skin.
Right.
And that's what protein does. It makes everything harder there. So that's the goal for this prep is to, if I'm not the biggest guy at the show, I'm coming in the most peeled, 100%.
Yeah, man. You know, I was going to mention this a little later on, but I train a few women, only women. I never trained a man to go on stage to compete for bodybuilding, but I trained women. And this is another reason why I brought you on, because I never, obviously, you know, men and women are different, especially when they're going on stage training for a bodybuilding competition, whether it's bikini, figure, physique, etc. And I remember there was one of my clients, shout out to Elaine, she won first place, but I remember she would literally be so bored with having baked chicken and just like broccoli, literally 24/7.
I give her credit because women, it's way harder.
It's discipline. But the thing was, it was her first time on stage, and she practiced her posing so much that, like, analyzing how the competition went, it was in Syracuse. It was a very long trip, and I analyzed how the competition went, and there was a lot of women that looked better than her but couldn't pose.
I'm posing every night.
Yeah,
every night.
And then there was a lot of women that posed well but didn't have her physique, and she was just like that mixture of both, where she had the physique and she had the posing down, and I think that's one of the reasons why she won. Like, you need both, but, like, you cannot just really aim for just the aesthetic of the stage.
Correct.
Because at the end of the day,
you'll look stupid on stage.
Yeah,
if you don't know how to pose.
I meet a lot of people, like, in LA Fitness and different types of gyms, and they all go on stage, they're prepping, etc., but they don't have their posing on point, and they have a perfect body, bro. I'm a trainer, and I look at them, I'm like, shit, man, like, I wish I had your body. But their posing is not on point, and at the end of the day, they end up 9 times out of 10 they end up losing because their posing is trash.
And
I posing think is very important.
This is good that you're touching up on that subject, because I think if you go on stage and you don't know how to pose, you might as well just stop bodybuilding completely. Like, you're just gonna look stupid. You're making a bad look for the sport. You look like an idiot most of the time up there when you're looking goofy, not knowing how to pose. So practice posing is definitely very important, and that's one of the things that actually turned me off from bodybuilding, was because I didn't want to pose. I was like, especially like in underwear, I guess you could say.
Right.
It looks corny to me, and it kind of looked not appealing. So I was always turned off about the fact that I had to go up there and just pose, like, and do all these weird things with my body. But
and how do you feel about it now?
Now I understand the art of it, and I understand the reasoning for it. It's literally to showcase your physique.
Right.
And you could have a good physique, but if you're not showcasing it right, you're gonna lose.
Right.
Because there's gonna be, like you said, somebody like your client that knows how to pose, has a good physique, that will just dominate everybody else, even with better physiques than her.
Exactly. That's good. That's good input. I have clients who, especially when they first sign up, they ask me, Brian, best trainer in the world, what are the best supplements I could jump on? And I'm like, Rebecca, Patty, Lil Jimmy, you should not be on supplements, especially if you're starting you're beginning your journey into fitness, and especially if you have not even, had any experience in the fitness realm at all in the past. But for my people that have been doing it for a year, or have been doing it for 2 years, and sometimes they need a nice little boost, because I always tell my clients, supplements are to support your diets. They're not your diet. So if you're thinking on trying to lose weight and you're only going to be on protein shakes 5 times out of the day, that's wrong. That's unhealthy, and that's horrible for your body. You need your proper nutrients from whole foods.
Right.
Now, going into the supplement route, what supplements do you take personally, and what supplements do you take in your, let's say, off season, where it could support your your bodybuilding, your muscle building, your hypertrophy, etc.
So if you guys are interested in what supplements I take a lot of daily health supplements. I have a video on my YouTube channel that actually breaks down every vitamin and supplement that I am taking. It depends what type of supplements you're talking about. Like natural supplements.
Yes, natural supplements. Like you could get from Vitamin Shop, GNC, etc.
I could recommend a few, especially for natural lifters, women especially.
Please.
If you're just starting out in the gym, you don't need anything crazy. And bunch of stuff that they sell at GNC and Vitamin Shop are all gimmicks stuff. Like, you don't need at least 50% of the stuff in there. It's all bunk. So I would start off with a good protein that you like. Enjoy that. That's good stuff. I would definitely recommend a good protein that you could digest really well. Digestion is key when it comes to protein, because a lot of people, they get upset stomachs and whatnot. Whey protein's not for everybody. Veggie protein's not for everybody. You got to see what works for you, and experimentation is definitely important when it comes to finding or learning about your fitness journey. It took me a lot of years to know what works on my body.
I'm gonna just say this, I have to say this because I'm sure there's a lot of fitness guys out there that don't really touch base on this. But I'm an honest guy, and I try to share all experience with my clients. Okay, if you're trying out pre-workouts and you're shitting your brains out after you consume it a minute later,
it's definitely not good for you.
It's not good for you. One, number two, you gotta swap. You gotta ask GNC, hey, can I get an exchange? Because if you're gonna be having diarrhea and you're gonna lose 15 pounds before a workout every day, you know, you don't want to be squatting and then having an accident.
They'll exchange it for you too, because I used to work at GNC. They will.
I used to work at GNC too.
Really,
bro.
that's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So if you're taking, let's say,
wait, can I touch up on the pre-workout?
Yeah, please,
real quick.
Go ahead.
You don't always have to buy a stimulant pre-workout, or a stimulant-based pre-workout. I don't use a stimulant-based pre-workout. I literally use something called hydraulic, and it's a pump product, and it just basically sends all the blood flow and water and nutrients to your muscles while you're working out. So
now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the stimulant-free has no caffeine, has no green tea extract, let's say.
Correct.
But it has let's say a good chunk of grams of citrulline, arginine, those type of amino acids where it dilates your blood vessels so that you could get some more blood flow.
Correct. Those are stimulating to your blood vessels, not to your nervous system.
Exactly.
Because if I take a pre-workout, most of the time when I do take pre-workout, I just say, screw it. Sometimes I'm taking like a stimulant pre. I'll have a shitty workout. Like, it'll be ruined. Like, I'll just
Why? Because of the tingling?
No, not the tingling, because that's from the beta-alanine, but that's not a problem to me. It's more just the stimulant feeling. I get anxiety while I'm training, and I'll get like
I'm completely
too many people around me type
I'm completely the opposite.
Really?
Just in college, the only reason why I survived through college was because of caffeine. So I would take caffeine pills.
Oh, wow.
Each pill was 220 milligrams.
You're going hard.
220 milligrams. By the time I was in junior or senior year, I was about to graduate, I was taking 4 pills a day.
Wow.
Sometimes in one serving. So I was taking almost 800 milligrams or even a gram of caffeine. I don't know how I'm still alive.
Don't do what he's saying right now.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
But
if you want a heart attack at an early age,
do this.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I'm still alive. But keeping a G, like, I would take that just so that I can be a full-time personal trainer. So I could be a full-time student. I was taking more than 20 credits. I was trying to graduate on time. That was the main reason. Now, when I stopped, the reason why I stopped is because I remember I was reaching for a pen and I just wouldn't stop shaking. I was like, all right, this is bad.
That's a scary feeling.
Yeah, so I was just like, holy shit, I'm gonna die.
Well, listen,
so that's when I stopped.
That's a healthier alternative to what a lot of people take, Adderall nowadays.
Yeah.
I used to take Adderall as well, and that is just one degrading, it just slowly degrades you. It just kills your nervous system. And usually when people are taking Adderall, they're mixing caffeine.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That is
Adderall
toxic.
that bad?
That is it's a very neurotoxic. And I had a time where I was taking it from my doctor, obviously. I was taking it for like a 3-month period, and it just, my personality just went out the window.
Now, was it the slow digesting one?
I tried both.
Was it okay?
I tried the instant and the slow digesting, and the instant just makes you want to take more because it wears off so fast. And then the extended, you're feeling like good for like 3 hours, and then you just feel like crap for the rest of the day, and then you can't take another one because if you do, then you're not going to sleep all night.
Right.
But
Right.
anyways,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the supplements down. We got a little bit of your lifestyle down. What about your diet? So when you have your diet, a lot of builders, they're infamous or famous for weighing their foods, knowing their calories, knowing their macros to the T. Do you do that? If you do, can you give me some more details on how many grams of macros you have a day, etc. Just so that, we can educate all the people out there who want to follow your journey, who want to become a bodybuilder, or who want to just build muscle, or who are my clients and they just want to be a little bit more educated.
So I have a question for you. Do you tell your clients to purchase a food scale?
No, I don't.
Okay. I always tell people, even though I'm not a personal trainer, like by a degree or anything, I have a lot of people asking me for diet advice, and I actually do have 2 clients that I'm working with right now, and I've been getting them phenomenal results. But one of the first things that I always tell them before I even give them a diet plan is to buy a food scale. Weighing out your food is very important because I think that we could everybody just over portions everything, especially in today's society. If you go to Spanish countries, the portions are a little bit smaller in food. It depends where you're going, but I always tell people get a food scale. It's very, very important to weighing out your macros, and so you could keep track. It's basically just to keep track of what you're doing, what you're ingesting, if you need to add more food or if you need to decrease food for weight purposes, if you're looking to gain or lose.
So is it like a replacement for, let's say, My Plate or MyFitnessPal?
Ever since I got a food scale, I never use MyFitnessPal. I just use MyFitnessPal to just weigh out my macros.
All right. So continue.
Yeah, let me go through my macros real quick because I wanted to talk about this. So right now, for my bodybuilding competition, I am actually eating on my training days 2,600 calories, 270 grams of carbs, 75 grams of fats, and 243 grams of protein. Protein's pretty high. You should be having around, like, they say 0.8 to 1 gram per body weight, per pound.
For general public, yep.
Correct. So that's around 2,600 calories. And then on my off days, so I have 2 off days a week, but I'm still training, doing cardio on those days. That's around like 2,400 calories. So it's not that much of a drop, but it's just enough to make me feel extra tired those days. So I'm doing cardio an hour a day right now. And on my leg days, I'm doing 45 minutes of cardio a day. And I'm also getting a cheat meal once a week. And that's honestly my favorite day because I'm a big foodie.
A cheat meal or a cheat day?
Cheat meal.
Why?
Yeah, a lot of people get that term misused. And a lot of people say, I'm just going to have a cheat day today. Your whole cheat day will throw out all your results that you've had the previous week out the window. And because think about it, a cheat day, you're going to have 5,000 calories? Easy. And
yeah. All right. So that's interesting, but elaborate because I have a different opinion on that. When I tell my clients to have a cheat meal, a cheat day, I'm sorry. When I tell them to have a cheat day, it's all about the behavior change. So let's say, for example, sometimes you need to take a step back or 2 steps back to move 5 steps forward and have discipline for a long-term diet that you're conscious about. Because again, my thought process, again, for the general public, not bodybuilders, is that, let's say, a bodybuilding diet is not long-term. Nobody, unless you're a bodybuilder, can follow and keep weighing their foods for the rest of your life.
Right.
So what I end up saying is, have a cheat day, get out of your system, and 9 times out of 10, and this is reverse psychology, 9 times out of 10, they'll have a cheat day the first week when they start working out with me, maybe even the first 2 weeks. But since they're eating so clean and the personal trainer gave them the green light to eat whatever the hell they want for 24 hours, that cheat day ends up making them feel like shit by the second or third, physically like shit, not mentally, physically.
Right.
Let's say,
your stomach's messed up, everything.
Yeah, person A, they haven't had, let's say, Wendy's for 3 weeks. They have Wendy's on that cheat day. They're gonna lose 10 pounds in the bathroom and they're gonna feel like shit the rest of the day. Now it psychologically turns them off. Mm-hmm. So then the following week when they have that cheat day, it ends up being a cheat meal instead of a cheat day. You get what I'm trying to say?
Because they understand the consequences of how bad it is when they eat so clean and then they're just jumping one day, going gung ho on everything.
Exactly. So that's why I always go to the route of, you know what, Rebecca, you know what, little Jimmy, have your cheat day, have your 2 cheat days a week, okay? After that, we'll see how it goes, and I'm always on top of them because I'm not for diets. I'm more about behavior change so that you can.
It's a lifestyle.
So that you could be conscious about your diet. So you could eventually become independent from me as
Correct.
a trainer.
That's a good trainer.
So just elaborate because again, I want to have an intelligent conversation, and if you go more for cheat meals instead of cheat days, I kind of want to learn why, because I want to have an open-minded and learn from you because we're learning from each other right now.
So I agree with what you said 100%.
Okay.
But you're training lifestyle clients.
Yep.
I'm training for a bodybuilding show. There's a big difference.
Gotcha.
You know, there has to be discipline there, because if I have, say for example, a month from now when I'm like almost ready for my show, where I should be like body fat percentage wise almost ready for my show, and I have
and what is that? Just so that
like around
we can know.
Around 8%.
Okay.
8% is like the goal for next month. Okay. So right now I'm sitting at about 10.
And when you're
11. Really,
so when you're
11,
on
12.
stage, you want to be at 8%.
If I could get down leaner to like 6, that'd be for my first show.
Perfect world.
Yeah, okay. But it's gonna be hard. That's why we're pushing the cardio, because that's the goal, is to be that peeled.
You're right.
But when it comes to lifestyle habits, right? Those are the lifestyle clients. Those are the people that you coach, or lifestyle clients.
Right.
They could have, what you're trying to do is to change their psychology on eating and their diet habits and everything. For me, it's different, because if I have a whole cheat day, I'm ruining everything, the whole way I look for the next week. Like, my body will just be like bad. I'll hold more water, and that's just, the goals are different, you know? Like, that's basically what the difference is here, is that you're training lifestyle clients and I'm training to be a bodybuilder.
Now, let me pick your brain. So, you know, obviously, let's say a cheat day would be horrible for the last few weeks going towards your competition. But just playing devil's advocate here, because again, I kind of want to learn the bodybuilding realm for a male. Looking bloated for a week, is it that bad if you end up having a cheat day instead of a cheat meal, though?
You know what it is? It's because you're training your body, and your body, if you're holding water, for example, for a week,
right,
your body's starting to get used to that. So it's going to make it harder for that weight to come off the following week.
The water weight.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the fat gain. You don't know what could happen. Bodybuilding is like playing chemistry with the body.
Right.
So every detail matters. Yeah. Like literally how much salt you sprinkle on a meal. I'm not at that point yet. But when it comes closer to the show, like a week out,
you got to manage your sodium.
Yeah. And I'm probably going to take a couple days off of work beforehand just to make sure my head's in check and everything, because like I said, everything's, you got to pay attention to detail there. So
okay, all right. You touched base when we hung out the other day. You said, you know, something about fasted cardio, and you touched upon insulin levels. You touched upon burning fat over carbs, etc. Can you touch base on that? Because I'm not one to dictate, oh yeah, you know, you should have fast cardio in the morning, and I know some people that are completely against that, and I know some people that support that as well. So my take is always try it. If it works for you, great, continue it. If not, everybody's different, etc.
Everybody's different.
So if you could touch base on the people who are different, let's say, and that it actually works for them, why is fast cardio in the morning helpful?
Okay, so basically, when you wake up, your glucose levels are at the lowest because you haven't had any food in you. So, and when you go to bed, all that stuff wears off because you're sleeping for 7-8 hours. So when your glucose levels are at the lowest, your blood glucose at the lowest, and you're training cardio in the morning, just water. You're not having, or coffee you could have too, but that's just dehydrating. So that's why I try to stay away from caffeine before I have any food or anything. So just water, cardio, you're actually burning fat storages, and you're not burning carbs or sugar that's stored in your body. So it's just basically just jumping straight to the fat storages. And this is what science has proven. Do I know that it works for sure? I notice a little bit of benefits when I do it. Like I did fasted cardio this morning, and you feel like you feel empty, that's for sure. So you would think something's working. You don't really have food in you, so your body's not digesting anything. It's just going straight to the fat storages. But a lot of prep coaches, like bodybuilding coaches, they emphasize fasted cardio because when you're dieting down for a show, it's to burn that stubborn fat off, especially if you're having difficulty burning the stubborn fat. And since I never done a show before, I have what you call stubborn fat. That's just like really aggressive to come off. because I've had it on me for years. I might not be fat, like in terms of like a big guy or anything, but it's more of the fat that's just been. I never trained for something like this before, so that's basically the point of the fasted cardio.
Now you touched base on having a coach. Why do you have a coach? And what does a bodybuilding coach do for you in terms of bodybuilding?
Before I had a coach, I was actually prepping myself. And I noticed that when you're not being told how to train or how to diet, you're a little bit more lenient on yourself. So having a coach that's super serious is definitely very important, whether it's a trainer, a coach. It's basically a way to stay accountable, correct? And accountability, my coach is a serious guy. Like, if I mess up cardio or training or diet, I don't want to tell him anything because like that, I'm very honest with my coach, and if I tell him something or how I'm feeling or diet, like should I eat this still even though I'm full, blah blah blah, he's gonna be like, stop being a fucking bitch and do it, because that's what's in your plan. So it keeps me accountable, and keeping me accountable definitely keeps me on track with all of my goals. And I think that everybody should have a coach, whether it's in fitness or in a life mentor or anything. I do believe that a coach is good for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's why people hire you.
Yeah, I mentioned it in the past as well, and again, 90% of my clients, they're the general public. I have a few athletes, but even LeBron James has a fucking coach. He has a trainer.
Every successful person has had a mentor or a coach.
Exactly.
Every successful person.
Exactly. Conor McGregor, he has a coach. Like all these superstars, they have someone keeping them on track, because again, at the end of the day, we're all humans, and we all kind of like steer away from, let's say, the pathway, just to kind of like have things a little bit easier, have a break, etc. But our job is to kind of just make sure we steer the wheel onto the highway and just make sure you keep moving forward to reach your goals.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you have a coach for yourself or not?
I do. And he's a Muay Thai coach. So I practice jiu-jitsu, I practice Muay Thai, and he keeps me somewhat disciplined on the training, because Announcement, I promised myself that I'm going to be taking a fight.
Oh, wow. This is great.
Yeah, so this is the first time I'm actually mentioning it. I'm mentioning it on camera. So
wow, you guys hear that?
This is fucking discipline right here, and this is accountability. So if I'm talking shit and I'm saying, well, I'm going to do it in 5 years, no, keep me accountable. Because, again, I'm human, and there's going to be times where I'm just going to go out of the highway, but I'm announcing it now that, personally for me, you could call it macho, you could call it anything, but I think a man should always thrive to be the best and experience, manhood, and experience something as aggressive as being locked inside a cage or a ring and actually be in a fight with another person and see who goes on top.
Listen, you only live once, so live it up.
Exactly.
That's what I tell everybody. That's why I'm doing this show. That's why you're doing this fight.
Right. So yeah, man. So
I'm excited for you.
Again, it's a process. I need to get into fight shape.
Yeah.
Because there's fit, and then there's like you're a fighter fit.
Right.
You know
And those guys are animals.
Yeah. So that's an announcement,
but
guys.
you're an animal too now.
Yeah, I guess. I try to be humble. Anyway, so we spoke about supplements. We spoke about GNC, vitamin shot, but you're also on what I like to call some candy, some testosterone.
Some candy. I thought you were talking about something else, but
no,
yes,
no.
I do take supplements, especially hormones. I guess you could call them. I wouldn't call them PEDs, performance enhancement drugs. I haven't ever been too vocal about this, because I have a feeling like it just like brings like a bad stigma to your name, and you see like a bunch of influencers that do talk about this stuff, and you just look at them and you're just like, you're corny, bro.
Now, guys, listen, Personally, I've never been on a cycle before, but what people don't understand, and I know I've had clients like this, the people that don't understand is that even if you're on candy, you still need to do the work.
Correct.
You still need to sweat. You still need to show up. You still need to have discipline. You still need to have some consistency. So at the end of the day, you still need to do somewhat of the work. Does the results come a little easier? Maybe, arguably. However, you still need that mental psychology of, all right, I need to do the work and show up to X, Y, and Z.
Correct. I know a lot of people that do take supplements, and you would never be able to tell. Like, you would never be able to know that they're on anything. And like you said, you could put in the work. Are you really putting in the work, though, by injecting yourself? No, you got to do way more than that. It's literally a day in, day out type of lifestyle. And it's not something to play with either. Like, I started at a certain age where I'm not going to say how I got into it, but it was almost like when I did it, I didn't get the good results that a lot of people get on their first cycle because I didn't know what I was doing. And I was really young, and I was just messing up your hormones. And a lot of people think that they could just take this stuff and then just go back to their regular life. And no, it's a commitment. It's a lifestyle.
Now, when you tried it, you said you didn't know what you're doing. You didn't have like someone who was on it, a mentor, someone who kind of teach you.
I did, and that person gave me the worst advice, and he was like, eat everything. Luckily, I didn't gain a lot of fat, but when you're eating everything, I'm thinking like everything. So I'm having desserts, big dinners, big lunches, like just whatever, being sloppy. And long term, that stuff's just not good for your internal organs, right. Like just for your overall health and like your blood work and everything. Right. So,
and it's part of the sport as well, because you could go on competitions where it's all natural, and there's competitions where, I don't know if you have to be on it or you have the option to be on it, but you're going up against people that are on it. So, you know, again, being in that sport, why not be on it? I kind of understand,
And that's another thing. So, like, when I was taking this stuff when I was a little bit younger, I wasn't pursuing anything in bodybuilding. I was just taking it to be a gym guy, and I think that's like the dumbest thing that you could do. If you're not going to utilize what you're putting into your body to the fullest extent, there's no point in doing it.
All right, so you were speaking about, you being on candy, and I was about to ask whether you went to the doctors or went to some type of medical professional to check your levels before you even went on it. Did you or no? And if you didn't, it's cool. Like, I just want to kind of educate people and actually bring up some of the screenshots of your level results so that you could kind of like touch base on each one.
Okay, so when I was young and dumb,
and it was young. Yeah. So like this is years ago.
Wait, no, this is recent. What I sent you.
So you're still young and dumb?
No, before. Well, let me explain. So when I was young and dumb, I would take things, and I didn't know what it was doing to my body, and I was just taking it and not getting blood work done, not talking to my doctor about this stuff, and then I woke up and one day I was like, I don't want any problems in the future, so let me go to the doctor and just tell him everything that I've been doing these past couple of years. Yeah. So luckily my doctor's really cool. Shout out Dr. Odessa in Parsippany. Good dude. I went to him because I just wanted to make sure everything was functioning properly, especially when it comes to taking supplements and your hormones. I want to be able to have kids. I want to be able to sleep with my girlfriend or, be able to get it up. Anyways, so I've been going to my doctor once a month for the past 2 years. Even I'm not taking stuff for 2 years straight. Never that. But when I do stuff or when I don't take anything, I still go just to get my blood work checked, just to see my ranges and my hormones and my cholesterol and everything. So I sent Brian my recent blood works of when I was off cycle and then when I was on cycle. and we're going to discuss the differences. And it's pretty crazy. And I could talk about the dosages that I was taking on the one compound that I was doing.
Yeah, Tomasso, please. So, I thought it would be very cool, especially with people out there, people that I know that, that let's say have testosterone issues, have hormonal issues, and to actually analyze someone's results that's willing to share. And we could hopefully get some education on that. So we're looking at the first screen right here.
Right.
Can you explain what it is?
This is my estrogen levels, okay?
Gotcha.
Right now, it says my value was 55.1. Go to the next slide real quick. Wait. No. This one. Okay. That was at 55.1 when I was on testosterone, okay?
When you were on testosterone?
When I was on testosterone, which is high because the standard range is 42.6 max. Like, that's the cutoff.
So your estrogen was high here.
Correct. And I was taking anti-estrogen as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next part is what's going to blow your mind.
So wait. So before you swipe, what were you taking specifically right now?
So this was just testosterone. I never taken anything other compound besides this new prep, other than testosterone.
So you were taking testosterone. Next thing you know, your estrogen is off the charts.
Correct.
Okay.
But not too high, because I've heard of people's numbers going like over 100.
Okay.
So that means the anti-estrogen that I was taking was working, but I wasn't taking it enough. I was only taking it 2 times a week, and I should have been taking it 3 times a week.
Got it. Okay.
And it's easy to lose track of taking so many vitamins and pills and everything.
I got you. So if we swipe.
Yeah. So then this is the testosterone level when I was on cycle. Mm-hmm. And you see how high it is? That's obnoxiously high.
Yeah, so your levels, your standard range is between 264 all the way to 916.
Realistically, though, a standard range for a healthy male adult is like 700. 200's really low. Like 200, that you should get checked.
Yeah, you should get checked, and you could go to the doctors and say, hey, listen, this is actually a medical condition.
Correct.
And they'll actually, inject you with testosterone.
Not a lot of doctors will do it, though, and that's not a good doctor. If your doctor is seeing low testosterone levels like that, and he's not putting you on any type of supplementation, you got to look for another doctor,
right,
because he obviously doesn't know what he's doing.
Okay.
So, anyway, my value here was 1,917. Okay, and that range right there, that number, I was literally taking 125 milligrams of testosterone a week. And that is half of a cc 2 times a week.
Wow.
Very little. Very little. So I'm a hyper responder. That means I hyper respond to testosterone. So I know a lot of people that have taken 2 cc's a week and their numbers don't even look that high.
Right.
So that's another thing. Like when you're playing with these supplements, like it's very important to see get your blood panel, because you could be taking a high dose, or not even a high dose. You could be taking something to where I thought it was a low dose for me, and then your numbers come out looking skyrocketed like that. That's dangerous. So when I saw that blood work, I said I need to take a step back, and I took a step back.
So here, the doctor recommended you got to lower your the amount of testosterone that you're consuming.
Right. So at that point, when I got this blood work done, I was already planning to come off.
Okay.
So my doctor, I feel like I teach him a lot of things just from a lot of my research and just experience. So he doesn't really tell me. He just like, that this is high, right? And I'm like, yeah. So he knows that I'll take action, because I'm not just somebody to just sit around and do nothing about it.
Correct.
So he knows the type of person that I am. I've been seeing him for like over 5 years. So when I got that result back, I was like, well, it's time to come off anyway, and I'm happy that I am coming off now.
Okay. So how did you feel with a man with that much testosterone in your body, like off the charts?
Okay. So let me say something crazy too. It'll blow your mind, and a lot of your viewers probably. The more testosterone you have, sometimes you think it'll give you more energy, but it'll actually make you less energetic, less sex drive, and everything. So I was starting to feel sluggish there.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And that was only like an 8-week, 10-week cycle.
Now, can you argue that it was the high estrogen that was doing that, and not the high testosterone?
See, like I could argue that, because that's a big possibility, because estrogen is one of the most. Estrogen is stronger than testosterone, and not a lot of people know that. That's why I give a lot of credit to females, especially in the fitness world or just trying to lose weight or anything, because estrogen is a killer. Like, if you don't know how to manage your estrogen right, it'll damage you mentally, energetically. You'll just have no energy. Testosterone, on the other hand, that's supposed to be like an upper. So, you know what? You're right. It could have been the estrogen.
Okay, so you felt sluggish, your drive wasn't there, etc. Now, if we're looking at the next slides, this is
3 months later.
This is 3 months later, post on candy.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything.
Post candy. Okay, so we're looking at estrogen levels right now. Your value is 5.2
from 50.
From 50, which is crazy, and then your standard range is between 7.6 to 42.6. So you have low estrogen.
So you see, it messes up your hormones everywhere.
So what does this mean, and how did you feel?
I felt, honestly, the first month it was fine, because it takes some time for testosterone to come out of your system and all your hormones to balance out. So I felt a little bit fine the first month. On the second month, you start to feel like just different. I can't really explain it. Just out of it mentally. And because testosterone, like, it's so high, like, you're so focused all the time, you're so like energetic, and then like when you just come off, you just have no, you don't. It's not that you have no energy. It's just that, like, you're crashing from a drug. You know, it's like if you were to take cocaine and then the come down. You know, you're so high on cocaine, and then the come down. I've never taken so cocaine
in my life. So.
Yeah, don't.
Okay,
it's not good.
You're educating me right now.
So
I'm a man of God.
Good, as you should be, because I am too.
So we're swiping here. Now your testosterone levels are at 226.
Yeah. So on the second month, this was 3 month blood work.
All right. So hold on. So this is a mind fuck. So 3 months post candy.
Yeah.
Your test levels went from
1917 or 1980, whatever it was.
Yeah. To 226, which is below standard level. So you have low test right now.
Right. Well, not anymore, because I'm back on.
No. But like at this moment, in this screenshot right here.
Yeah.
So explain how'd you feel, and explain why the fuck is that low.
The only downside that I could actually notice was my energy was fine. My sex drive wasn't high. Like, I didn't want to have sex. Like, I could still get it up. Excuse me. I could still get it up, but my sex drive just, like, I didn't have the urge to, like, act upon sex or do anything sexually. I just, like, wanted to just lay down and just do nothing. So all right, it's kind of a buzzkill.
So you can actually be erect. Like, your dick will get hard.
Correct.
But you just didn't want to fuck, though.
Correct. And I just want to, like, cancel this stigma of juice heads or people that take supplements have small penises.
Right.
That is far from true.
Right. It actually shrinks your
testicles.
Your testes,
right.
Yeah.
It's called hypogonadism.
Right.
And a lot of people are out there uneducated.
So it doesn't shrink your dick.
Correct. Because I'm good. And let's just say that. And I just wanted to cancel that stigma right away, because a lot of women and men think that, or men, they'll get scared, like, oh, I don't want to have that.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Because number one, they're uneducated. Number two,
Correct.
Sometimes men and women, sometimes they just hate on men that are on candy, and then they just talk shit about them.
Right. They're jealous.
Right.
A lot of the men are jealous.
Because at the end of the day, you at the gym, you're breaking necks, men's necks and a woman's necks.
Right.
So they jealous. So
also,
at the end of the day, your testes get smaller. It's not your dick.
Right.
That gets small.
And they can go back to normal, and most of the time they do. You're not. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there are supplements that you could take, which is pretty cool. It's called HCG. Have you ever heard of HCG?
No.
Okay, HCG is a very interesting topic. They actually take this compound from the woman's placenta. It's only found in the woman's placenta.
No way, really?
Yeah.
What's it called?
HCG.
Okay.
And you get that, and that's an injectable, like, I Actually, doctors prescribe this stuff pretty often for men with low testosterone because it may boost their natural testosterone again.
Really? And it just makes you...
Without taking synthetics.
It makes your
balls start working again.
Bigger. Your balls bigger, or bigger. They work more efficiently?
Right.
Or
so
both?
Right. So I got my HCG from my doctor after my cycle.
Okay.
And that shit works, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I think my balls were bigger after taking that stuff than they ever been before.
Really?
Even before taking hormones, yeah. So it definitely works, but like I said, it's like playing chemistry. It's not fun. This is not fun stuff.
Now let's kind of like dig deeper. So you spoke about sex drive, okay? And you spoke about you actually being able to work your dick, but you just didn't want to do the work. Okay, so let's say hypothetically there will be occasions where the woman will have to, your girlfriend will have to do the work, etc.
I wouldn't even want her to touch me sometimes.
Sometimes,
yeah.
So like you would get hard, but you wouldn't even want to fuck.
Right, exactly. Okay. It'd be like an effort,
Now
it shouldn't be that way.
Just so that these future bodybuilders, know, like, are you like 100% rock hard, or are you like, is it a chub?
No.
Are you fucking with a chub?
All right, so. There was something that I took a long time ago. I'm rock hard, like when I'm just taking or.
Listen, this time you're not describing what it is now, so
right.
Just feel free to be as honest as possible.
When I was in a past relationship,
right?
I was taking it's called Super Draw or something like it's like a pro hormone. They're like wannabe steroids.
Okay.
I took that. And that literally I couldn't even get a hard on, like zero, like all the time.
Wow.
Like, yeah, and that was scary. So I did that for 2 weeks, and it was messing with my mental space too, because if you want to have sex, and you can't, that's embarrassing.
Biologically, you feel like you're not a man if you can't even fuck your girl.
We've all been there before, where we've been in situations where we can't get it up, and it's like the most embarrassing situation in the world. So that's why it's like I said, like supplements aren't something to play with. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know what you're getting into,
and do your research.
Do your research, and definitely speak to your doctor. You need a cool doctor. You can't just have some douchebag guy that's just like, no, that stuff's bad for you, without you don't want a closed-minded doctor. You want like an open-minded doctor, right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's what you're paying them for. Exactly. To listen to you, not to tell you don't do this, don't do that.
Now, you mentioned that you're in a relationship, you have a girlfriend. How difficult is it to maintain a fit lifestyle, a bodybuilding lifestyle, while you're in a relationship? You told me she's a phenomenal girl. You guys been together for 8 months, right?
Yeah, about to be 9.
About to be 9. Congratulations. Now, I have this theory, okay? I have this theory where there's this honeymoon stage in every relationship that ranges between the first month all the way until 6 to 8 months. There's a honeymoon stage where everything's jolly, everything's rainbows. You guys are fucking like bunnies. You guys are having sex 24/7. The guy could go like 6 rounds a day, 3 rounds a day minimum. The woman's just like, she's just coming, squirting everywhere. She's just making your bed soaked and shit. And then after the 8-month mark, it's like, yo, bitch, stop getting on my nerves.
Right.
So like, Are you guys hitting that honeymoon stage, or are you guys getting out of the honeymoon stage?
So it's funny because we hit that honeymoon stage around like the 3-month mark, which is pretty early.
So wait. So like it's the honeymoon stage started at 3 months, or like it ended at 3 months?
Well, the fucking like rabbits part ended like after like around 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
We still fuck like rabbits whenever we can, but our schedules are more limiting now.
Right.
Especially because I'm training all the time. Like it's time consuming.
At the end of the day, you're an adult now.
Right. Right. Like, exactly. So I have adult things to do. I'm not just laying around all day just working. Like I'm trying to be successful. Like, and that's a 24/7 job. So. Yes, sir. I don't have time. I don't just go to work at 9 to 5 and then come home and just bang my girlfriend.
Some people don't understand that. Some people, they end up thinking, oh, this guy's trying to be successful. He should have time for his girlfriend. He should make time for his... I'm sorry, but us men, we attract women by becoming successful.
Correct.
We make our own value.
Because women say that, but
we're going to be busy 24/7 trying to make some money so that we could take you guys on vacation, so that we can, give you guys whatever you want, so that we can provide and give security as well.
Women will say that stuff in a relationship, you're not making time for me, blah blah blah, but then they'll fucking leave you for somebody who's more successful, that's busting their ass, that you were trying to do,
and then they'll hit you with a text like, hey, with 3 Ys, I miss you. Like, right. Bro, what? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so going back to, and I'm not saying this is your girlfriend, but right. At the end of the day, sometimes they're just kind of like, oh, my man don't have time for me. He's always working, et cetera, et cetera. Right. I'm sorry, but like this man is trying to become even more successful for the family or provide for the future family. Yeah, next thing you know, she got caught sucking dick somewhere else.
Thankfully, that hasn't happened to me ever.
Good.
But I do want to point this out. My girlfriend and I are the complete opposite. Way of upbringing and whatever. So I had to explain to her early on, like, this is what I'm doing. This is the person that I'm going to be, the man I'm going to become. And whether you ride with me or not, it's up to you, but I'm open. I'm all ears open. So it was a little hard to adjust at first, especially with both of our lifestyles just not really like meshing, because she's not like into fitness or anything like that. She does have a personal trainer though, so she does train 3 times a week.
Male or female?
Male. I think maybe.
How do you
heard
feel about
of
that?
Oh, I could care less.
Okay, good.
I'm so confident, like, as a person, and with what I have, picking a girlfriend, that I don't think that anything would come in the way of us. Especially like another man, That's good. Because I'm.
Who's the trainer, by the way? You were about to say. Yeah, if I know.
RBA Fitness, rings, bars, and something. He's in Little Ferry.
I have no idea.
He has a lot of clients.
Okay.
He's a busy guy.
Cool.
So I never met the guy. Seems like a nice guy, but
you never met him?
No, I never met him.
I'm sorry. I would have to meet the trainer.
Yeah, like I said, I could care less. If the girl wants to cheat, she could cheat, because I'm confident. I'm a confident dude.
You're secure. I'm secure.
Right.
But I'm very territorial. Maybe we're not territorial, but like
I used to be that way.
Yeah.
And you know what it is?
What changed?
I got being hurting myself, like not physically but mentally, just like stressing,
thinking
too much, overthinking, right. And then it's like almost manifesting something.
Right, you're imagining.
Yeah.
Shit,
so I just started to not care, and I think this is why my relationship with my current girlfriend now has been the best relationship I've ever had.
That's great, man.
Yeah,
that's great.
So
that's great.
Hopefully it lasts.
Make these hoes jealous.
Right. So,
but just argument's sake, just so that I could, because again, like we have different perspectives here. For me, I have a nice car. I'm not gonna park my car in the hood and be like, you know what? I'm very secure about my car. Like, no, like I'm gonna park my car.
I agree with you. I understand what you're
block.
saying.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Totally.
So
my girlfriend has good decision making.
That's
one
good.
thing about her.
That's good.
So I'm, like I said, I'm very confident in her mindset as well, which is very important, I feel like. But going back to what you were saying before, the
honeymoon stage.
Huh?
The honeymoon stage?
No. How do we balance it? Like
yeah, please.
Yeah. So it's not easy to balance our relationship, especially being on the diet, and like we don't really go out on much date nights anymore. But it benefits me and her in a way, because we end up saving more money. The only downside is that we don't really get time to spend with each other and just like lay down and just like watch Netflix and chill or anything. Every time she comes over, it's literally me recording for my YouTube or just me meal prepping.
And she's helping you, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So
that's wifey there.
It's really hard though, because it's not easy on her, because it is wifey, and that's why I'm very appreciative of her. But also, if I could, I'm just trying to just bust my ass now so I could just lay back later.
I mean that's how it's supposed to be, arguably. But I always feel like if you have a girlfriend, she should always be she's supposed to be your support system.
Right.
So if you guys are hanging out and you're all about work, she should be, Tomasso, what can I be doing just to kind of make your life a little easier so that I can help you propel yourself to the next level.
One thing I want to say that she does do, which is literally makes me the most happiest person in the world, is that
besides sex,
is I'll be at work, or I'll just be having a busy day and I'm out and I can't be home, and she will go to my house and cook my meals for me.
That's great.
And meal prep. But I don't let her touch the food scale, because one time I went to work that she packed food for me before, and I said, weigh it out, 6 ounces, blah, 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 200 grams of rice, this and that. I opened the freaking bag at work, and this looked like a food, like one container of food looked like food for like 3 days for me. And I said, did you weigh the food like I asked you to? And she was like, yeah. I was like, do you not know how to use a scale? And she was like, no, I swear it said 7 ounces and then 200 grams of rice. I was like, babe.
Did you show her?
Yeah, I took a picture. I was like, babe, this is like 3 of my meals, like all in one container. I was like, maybe you didn't tear the scale properly or something, but that was just that. I was pretty upset that day. I'm not gonna lie. So I said, you know what? Don't even worry about touching the scale anymore.
Because you could have been bloated for the next week.
Right. Well, that's my logic. It's a crazy crazy logic. It sounds outrageous, but that's my logic.
I'm not even making fun. Like, you'll be overweight.
I'll be like, fuck. What I did, I was like, I asked my coworker at the time. I was like, does this look like 6 ounces of chicken and like 200 grams of rice or whatever? And she was like, that's so much food in that container. Like, it was stuffed.
Right.
Like the container. And she was like, no, that does not look properly scaled. So
now, going back into the honeymoon stage, what's the honeymoon stage for you guys besides, fucking like rabbits the first 3 months?
All right, so the honeymoon stage that we have that's continued is the constant respect. And I don't know if that's called the honeymoon stage or just a good relationship.
Yeah, I think that's
the honeymoon stage, where I remember where I was at home and we would just be literally having sex. Probably, I think the most times we had sex in one night, just a night in like 5 hours, was like 8 times.
Wow.
Yeah. I know, that was like the most.
And you finished all 8 times?
Every time. But I mean, I was shooting blanks after like the third, but
right.
It was good. But obviously we don't have that much sex anymore. Now it's like 1 time, 2 times max, like per session.
Like per week, you mean? Or
yeah, really per week, because we only see each other 2 times a week right now. Right. It's really hard with our schedules, like I said. But
so that's how it is, though. When you're in an adult relationship, not a high school relationship, not a college relationship.
It's sad.
It is sad, but like, bro, at the end of the day, we gotta be doing our shit,
right? Because I wish I could just be home all day, just banging it out, but it's not realistic.
Yeah, bro.
And it is what it is. And another thing is, I think it's also taking a toll is the amount of calories that I've been eating. I just don't really have that much energy, like to have sex or to exert myself. Because, as you know, like releasing an orgasm for men, especially, like that's draining. Like you're releasing like a vital source of energy. So
right.
And now I'm being low calorie and then releasing that. It's like I'm freaking dead. I don't even want to move. I can't even walk.
Sometimes you're just like, yo, give me that shit back.
Right. I wish. I wish. Give me that energy back. Let me go shoot more testosterone. Maybe that'll help. I'm joking. Don't ever do that.
So she seems like a nice girl. You spoke very high about her. Would you say she's, more of a modern girl, or is she a little bit more conventional or traditional?
Very, very old school.
Yeah, that's great, man. I think relationships.
It is good.
Modern relationships lack the old school, conventional, traditional types.
Do you want to hear how old school it is?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I wasn't allowed to meet her parents for 6 months. For the first 6 months of us dating, which is understandable. Kind of like got me stressed out a little bit, though. It was like, I don't know why they didn't want to meet me like soon. Like they didn't like trust me or something.
Are you the type of person that like you need to meet the parents?
Yeah,
ASAP?
I gotta know. Like I have to know how your mom is. I have to know how your dad is and where your background is.
I've never been like that. I didn't give a fuck.
I've always been like that. Like it's important to me, like to meet like your potential future partner's parents. Like to see if you're compatible, because you may not like the parents. And that's my biggest thing. Like, what if I don't get along with the mom? What if I didn't get along with the dad? So Anyway, when that time came, it was like around 7 months, really. 6 months. So that was like 4 months ago, I met the parents. I'm at the house, like an hour passes. I'm there for dinner. Like an hour passes by, and we're just all sitting talking. They barely speak any English, so they're just like looking at me. What are they? They're Salvadorian, which is funny. So they don't speak any English.
So are they all about the pupusas? You ever heard of pupusas?
She's told me all about that. She was like, I can't wait till you come to El Salvador to eat a pupusa, whatever it's called. Yeah. They're good. They're all right. She's going to put me on.
I've had a few clients that brought me some pupusas.
I heard they're rocking. Like, she's like, you're going to fall in love with them.
Okay.
Yeah,
they're life-changing.
What is it exactly?
I don't know. I just put it in my mouth.
Hell yeah. This shit was probably fire.
It was good.
Right, anyway, so whatever, we're all hanging around the table, and I see her mom just like staring at me the whole time from the corner of her eye. And mind you, like, I'm getting hungry now, and like it's been like an hour and nobody has eaten anything, and they're like waiting to like eat. Okay. But I don't know why. Right. And then like my girlfriend's like looking at me like, I'm like, what? And I'm just like, let me go to the bathroom to cool off and like get my head straight, because I don't even know what's going on right now. So I come back from the bathroom, and then they're all looking at me, and she's like, so my parents want to know what your intentions are with me. And I'm like, I think I turned so red. I didn't even know what to say. Like, I choked for like the first like good 30 seconds. I was like, well, obviously I love your daughter. We've been dating for a while. And
so you said the L word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that I was shaking during that point, because I was like, if I had a daughter,
I wouldn't have
somebody
you.
Would say, yeah,
I wouldn't have believed
right,
you.
Me too.
3 months and my man's shaking.
Well, this was six months.
Okay. 6 months.
Yeah, this was 6 months in. Okay. So you can't say I like your daughter, like, especially to parents, like, especially old school parents. You got to be honest with them.
Okay.
So that was a little bit uncomfortable for me, and that's how old school her parents are. Is that, and it's funny too, because she had to translate in Spanish for them. But like I said, it was the most uncomfortable situation I've ever been in my entire life, because I'd never been around a situation. Any ex-girlfriend in my life, I never was asked by their parents, like, what are your intentions with my daughter?
Yeah, it sounds very old. It sounds like a movie.
Yeah, yeah. So I choked for like a good 30 seconds. I was like, yeah, I love your daughter. Like, it was awkward. And then they brought out the food and everything was good. So I think that they were just waiting for that moment to find out what my intentions were. But in my head, I'm just like, because I'm like a modern dude. Like, I'm like, dude, like in my head, I'm like, dude, I've been dating your daughter for X amount of time. Like, obviously my intentions are serious with her. If not, she wouldn't ever met my parents. She wouldn't have been over my house all the time, you know, because I don't know. That's just me.
Let me ask you a personal question. Yeah. Did you wait long to have sex with her?
We waited, like, I think we spoke about this, me and you, a long time ago. Like 2 months around, or a month and a half. I don't know.
Oh, 2 months?
Yeah, it was a while.
So, like, you guys didn't do anything for 2 months?
Right.
Nothing?
No.
Nothing
like,
at all?
We kissed. So, on our first date, right? This is funny. So, on our first date, I thought I was going to kiss or whatever.
Right.
But everything went well, and we're going to hug each other goodbye, and like, you know, on a first date it's like kind of awkward. You're like, what do you do? Like, do you kiss the girl? Like,
stick
on
your butt out. You don't want to
right like yeah you want to hug her like from a distance, you know. So basically, because she's shorter than me, and like she went in for a hug, and like I like thought that she was going in for like a kiss, so like I kind of kissed her, and she like pushed my head back. I was like, oh shit, that's bad. Like, that's awkward, you know?
like literally face, like, get the fuck off.
No, she was like, I was like, oh shit. I was like, damn, I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
So anyway, after that, we spoke about that. We were like, I was like, I'm sorry, like I didn't mean to come off that way, like, and she understood. It was just like an awkward position for the both of us. And after that date, we hung out again, I think the next week, and then we didn't kiss on the second time we hung out. I think we kissed on the third time.
Okay.
But it was more like it wasn't. I don't think we had like a good makeout session yet.
No.
And then like on the 4th date, we had like a makeout session, and then I was like, "What are we doing here?" You know, I was like so horny at that point. And we kept going on dates because, like I said, our schedules it was like a once a week type of thing, and then like she had things going on those days off, or when I was free and whatever. So like I said, like about a month and a half in, those were when we had sex, and that wasn't.
That's insane. Like honestly,
to wait that long, not a lot of people can.
Yeah, honestly, like the most I've ever waited was about a month. And I would hang out with her. She was a teacher.
So is my girlfriend, a teacher.
Yeah?
They have a hard life.
Bro, teachers are freaky, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But I'm not but this is the thing. So the first month we would see each other maybe twice a week. And we will see each other twice a week, or maybe a few times a week. So like, it wasn't almost like your situation where we would see each other once a week, right?
Right.
So we would see each other a few times a week, and I will not get anything for the first month. And I thought she was cute, you know, like she wasn't like a 10, she wasn't drop dead gorgeous.
Right. Hopefully she's not listening to this right now.
Hey, it is what it is, you know. Much love, you know. You were an amazing girlfriend.
Right.
I have nothing to say. I have nothing bad to say about my girlfriend.
Fair enough.
But you know, she had a good career. I always thought, you know, she could be my wifey material. You know, whatever.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, a month passed, and bro, like I was just dry. Like I don't even think I'm thinking about it. I think maybe we've hooked up, but that's it. Like I didn't get anything.
Like you guys just kissed. That was it.
Yeah. Like I felt like I was in high school.
Oh my gosh.
Like no dick grab, no pee touch,
yeah.
Like nothing. Like I don't think I even ever like reached down her pants ever.
That's respectful.
Crazy.
You know?
It is, but at the end of the
waited.
day, you know, we're men, man. Like you know what I mean? Like we want a good girl, but then again, we want a fucking whore.
Right.
You know, it's
like you can't pick and choose.
Yeah, we can't. So I gave her, you know, a month chance, and I remember there was this one time where it was. I decided
chance. That's funny.
Yeah. So I gave her, in my mind, I was like, you know what? This is it. Fuck this shit. You know, a man has his needs. You know what I mean? Like I was telling my boy, I was like, listen, like I'm gonna break it off with her. You know, like it is what it is, whatever. The day of, you know, we meet at a bar, and I was like, yo, I'm just gonna go for it. This is gonna be my Hail Mary. My Hail Mary was gonna be, I'm gonna ask her to be my girlfriend. Maybe she needs to be in a relationship to have sex, and I'm like, all right, that's respectful. No,
right.
I had a lot of respect for her to make me wait for a month.
I respect women like that.
Yeah, but then again, it's kind of like, yo, like I don't want to be fucking jerking off either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, that's lame.
I'm not a fucking 10-year-old.
That's lame.
Yeah. So we're at a bar, and I do my Hail Mary. I'm like, listen, girl, you know, I've had a lot of fun, etc. I'm like, would you want to be my girlfriend? She says nah, and I'm like, oh,
wow,
fuck.
But dude, was she giving you like clues that she was like interested in being your girlfriend, or no? Because how does she say no? To
be honest, I don't remember. She did not give me clues.
Okay,
I don't remember much. It was a while ago.
Yeah, but
I assume, because I wasn't an idiot back then,
right?
So I would assume she was giving me hints. So like, obviously, I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna ask when, you know, it's definitely going to be a no.
Right.
So for me, it was kind of like, yo, I kind of need the sex. And honestly, this was my thought process. I was younger. So I kind of want to fuck. So I'm going to make her my girlfriend. So I can finally fuck, right? A month in, you know? So she says no. And I'm like, fuck me. So like, obviously I already ordered food and I already ordered drinks. So it's not going to be awkward, but it's going to kind of be awkward.
That is so awkward.
Yeah. So I'm eating and I'm drinking, whatever. And I could tell like she felt bad that she rejected me and she said no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm eating and I'm like,
she should feel bad.
I'm sad. I'm like,
she should have just left.
You know, eating.
That's
right?
awkward.
I'm a little upset.
Yeah.
So
you're like, damn, I ain't getting no ass.
Right. I'm not getting ass.
After
you know, I'm over
loyal.
here. You know, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna ask to split the bill.
Oh,
this isn't a date. You know what I mean? Like you already told me no.
At this point.
Yo,
right.
we boys right now. I'll high five you. And
that made it very awkward, though,
you know?
right?
So like, that's my thought process. I was gonna do that.
Oh,
right?
You didn't though.
So I'm just like, all right, you know, I finished drinking, I finished eating, whatever. And she was like, hey, like, do you still want to hang out after? I'm like, yo, y'all mega confusing, bro. You just say you don't want to be my girl, but yet you want to hang out and come back to my place after. Right. I'm like, fuck it, bet. You know, like, whatever. It is what it is. So I paid for the check because I'm like, all right, you know, what is $20, right?
Whatever.
So I paid whatever. I brought her to my place, and I finally got some head.
Wow, that was it.
It was the best head ever because I've been saving myself for a month.
Oh,
you know, because I was a man of God.
How long did you last?
I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest.
Wow. And that was it. Like,
but I finally got it.
Did you try to,
and then I remember
initiate
a week,
sex?
I tried, but she was a little scared.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. She was a little. I don't know.
Fair enough.
It made me feel good because I took off my pants. She's like, oh man, like I don't want to fuck. Like it's too thick and big, and I was like, oh
wow,
shit. I was
that's
like,
a compliment.
I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that actually got me hard.
Right.
So I got some head, and then that's it. And then the week later.
Okay.
You know, I finally hit, and we ended up being together for I think 2 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow. So. You know what it is that I notice with women, and if you're waiting a long time or they're questioning whether to sleep with the man or not, it's usually not. Most of the time, like it wasn't the guy, like it wasn't really you. It was probably something that was on her mind, or she maybe had another relationship that she was breaking off. Or did you ever think about that? That it could have been not you, but it could have just been her?
Yeah, I thought about it, but this is shit that grinds my gears. Okay, you actually think about it. The women that think you might be the one, you end up having to wait. You're penalized.
Right.
All right?
Yeah, always.
But Rebecca, if she goes down the street and she goes to a bar and she finds some hot guy called Brad.
Right.
One night stand right there. And Brad didn't even have to work for shit.
That always grinded my gears too, because I would always say the same thing in my past relationships. It's like, why did you make me wait so long, but you let some cornball hit on like the first date, not even date, maybe.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day,
I'm a good guy. Like, I'm a good dude. So at the end of the day,
like I would say, you know, a nice little tip for women out there is maybe not give it up the first day, maybe the second day. The second date, all right, why not?
It depends. What they're looking for and what you're looking for, you know? Because if they're looking for something more serious, then I could wait a little bit. But if they're just down to fuck, I think like the second time would be ideal.
I think you're aware of the intentions in the beginning, like whether you want.
You're right.
The two people want a relationship or the two people want to just fuck.
And guys, let me just be clear too, because I've always been like a big advocate of this. If your intentions is just to sleep with a girl and just to sleep with her strictly, like kind of like give her that vibe. Like don't like lead her on into her like thinking that you like her or whatever. Just be honest with the girl, because at the end of the day, you're just like setting yourself up for failure, and you're just gonna look like a complete asshole. So I just want to put that out there, because there's so many fucking guys that will just do anything for pussy, and it's embarrassing and it's degrading to a man like myself or you.
You know, the bad thing about that is that if those type of guys are willing to, let's say, lie to get into a woman's pants, and then they finally hit, and then the woman's like, okay, you know, like, so what are we now? You know, that's a bullshit. And then the guy's like, all right, Deuce like, I had the sex, we fucked, it wasn't that good, all right, I'm gonna move on to the next. It kind of it fucks up with their mind, and then it fucks up
for future guys. Yeah, 100%. That's like a young child. That's like a young thing to do. Like when you're like, even like, and that's like a high school thing to do, is like to like lead a girl on or something just for sex, because you don't really know.
I respectfully disagree. I think there's, you know, it's not maybe high school mentality, but a lot of men out here, they have that high school mentality. They're willing to say anything just to get into the pants. Anything. You're right.
And it's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing, and that's what gives a lot of good guys like ourselves a bad image.
Right.
You know, girls get completely turned off. They're scared. And then a lot of them either become lesbian from being hurt so many times. I've seen that happen a bunch of times. You know, I'm sure you have too. But
they're like, men ain't shit. I'm going to the other side.
Listen, if I was a girl, I would just only be with girls. I wouldn't date dudes. Dudes are dirty,
if you were a girl?
If I was a girl, I would be lesbian, 100%.
Why?
Girls are just hotter species. They really are. And you don't have to deal with like a dirty guy, like, or just like worrying if the guy's dirty or not.
I never imagined myself as a girl, so I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. But if I was,
but yo, that's your time, man. That's your business. But let's say hypothetically, you had a daughter. Would you be okay? I don't want to go that route. Would you teach the daughter to be aware of a man's mentality?
100%.
Because I would.
100%.
I would tell her, listen, you got to become an adult. You got to have a job, obviously, but your options will become even more limited if, you're going to be getting a doctorate. You're going to be getting, making well over $250,000. You're going to be limited to the 1%. And by the time you graduate school, you're going to be fucking, 28, 30, 35,
yep.
or 30, let's say. And then once you want to start making a little bit more money, by the time you want to settle down, it's going to be 32, 33. And then by that time, those guys that making more than 250K, they're not going to want someone who's in their mid-30s.
100%.
To be honest.
No, they're not.
I'm just going to tell her, listen, you want to become an adult, you want to be good-looking, you want to be loyal, you want to be able to accept the fact that a man who is going to make money and is going to be successful may have a decision, a choice. It's not obligated, but a choice to make sure you're number one and make sure, he has a choice of whether he's going to be loyal to you or not. But at the end of the day, you have to be number one and you have to be taken care of. Because for me, I'm very traditional and conventional. Like, a man has to take care of the woman.
100%.
As a protector.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Right.
So now I have a question.
What's up?
What do you think about if you were to have a daughter? Would you let her date an older man? Like, say she's in her 20s and the guy's in his 30s. What do you think about that?
I'd be okay with it. If the man has intentions of making my daughter, let's say, her number one woman,
giving her a better life,
giving her a better life,
and respecting
security,
her,
protection, respect. As long as he doesn't hit her as well, like,
okay, that's bad. 20s and 30s, whatever.
Ahead.
But what about
A1, go ahead.
Because I know a lot of women and I know a lot of girls I went to high school with. They're dating like 40, 50-year-old men, and I know there's one person that is married to like a 50-something-year-old.
Are they attracted to him?
I don't know. I don't know them personally, but I went to high school with them, and this is what I seen like on their social media. Like, this girl's like my age, and she's married to like a 50-something-year-old dude.
Do they have kids?
If they do have a kid, they just had a kid, and that's weird to me.
I'm not against that. It's all right. You know what I think? I think sometimes women want the security to find marriage in a kid, regardless of the age, because I think it's a little weirder if, let's say, a more mature woman who's like in her 40s, 50s, 60s is marrying a 21-year-old compared to the other way around when it's a 40-year-old, 50-year-old marrying like someone in mid-20s.
Right.
Again, a woman wants the security of marriage and a kid, or security period. Sometimes a woman can't provide that if they're like 30 years older, but a man can. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
But since we're on this topic of relationships and, sex and men and women, etc., I want to play you this clip from, one of my favorite podcasts to listen to, because they have popular perspectives or unpopular perspectives. I'm a huge fan of them. Fresh and Fit podcast. Shout out to you guys. I'm a huge fan, and I want to hear your take on it. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Where I shoot.
Ladies, I'm giving you the male perspective. You guys go out on a date with, you don't really give a fuck what happens. The date is good enough for you.
Mm-hmm.
Men, we go out with a purpose, and if we don't get laid, we lose.
Okay.
Your presence alone, no one gives a fuck about your presence. They want to get laid. They don't care to be there and get to know you and build a vibe. It's all cap. They want to fucking get laid. So if they don't get laid, it's an L. So my point is this. Men no longer should be gentlemen when women punish guys for being gentlemen, as we just showed with Exhibit A. And I'm not saying that to pick on you. It's just that thousands upon millions of women do this in the West, and they say, I want a guy to be a gentleman. He acts like a gentleman, is nice, listens to her problem, be's the nice guy that she wants, and then what happens? Bam! No sex, curve blocked.
But like, was he patient? Like, I don't.
So a nice little 40-second clip. The context was there was this woman there. You know, she went on a date, and the guy paid for her gas. The guy paid for the date. The guy paid for a lot of things. And just because he had a kid, let's say, you know, she didn't want to go on a second date or even continue the relationship. And his take was, well, he did all the gentleman things, and you didn't even give him anything. You didn't give him sex. You didn't give him a second date. You didn't give him a chance, period. You know, so what's your take on that?
That
with that perspective, like at the end of the day, he mentioned a man is only going to go out with the intentions to have sex with the girl, and to listen, so that you can feel a little bit more comfortable.
No, I'm comfortable.
You're comfortable?
Yeah.
All right, answer.
Yeah. So
what's your reaction on
this comment or this statement that he made that men are expecting something. There is some type of truth to that, but that the way that he describes it is just a way to get canceled completely, especially by women, because a woman that knows her worth and knows her value, just because she went on a date with a guy doesn't mean that she should have sex with him. If she's interested, then why not? You know, like then she's just wasting time. If she's not interested and there's a reason for her not to be interested, then she has every right to just deny sex or not give anything because she is the woman and she's in charge of that part. But if she's interested in the guy, going on the date with him and they're having a good time, blah, 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 there's no reason why she shouldn't give it up. Maybe not immediately, or give some type of intention for the future, you know? And a lot of girls, I think, they're not good at communicating in that aspect, you know, because the girl thinks that, oh, a guy should chase it. A guy's only going to chase so much, like Brian was describing before. Like, he waited like a month. Like, he's only going to chase so much before he says, like, hey, like, what's the deal here?
And mind you, my intention was to break up with her or stop this free dating, free meals, free drinks shit.
Yeah, because girls take advantage of that stuff. Because I've heard a lot of women speak, and they all say, oh, it's like free drinks, free that. I personally don't ever want a woman in my life that's just going out on dates just to get free shit. Like, that's corny. Like, make your own money, make your own moves, respect yourself, you know, before you put yourself out there and go on a bunch of dates with men. You're just going to look trashy. But that's I understand where that, what's that guy's name that I was speaking?
His name is Myron
okay.
Gaines. He's from the Fresh and Fit podcast.
I totally understand what he's saying, where he's coming from. But I think that, did he word it a little bit aggressively? 100%. Do I think it's just for the podcast? Yeah. But like I said, I think that's just like the way that he worded it is a way for him to get canceled by women completely. And he has a good mindset about how to, or what a guy is expecting, but that's not always the case. And I think that should be spoke about in there as well.
I think in this topic, in this situation, he was A1 and spot on. A man is not going to waste his time with a woman without the intention of having sex.
Yeah.
Period. That's the end of the story. Just because he said it, you know, again, we disagreed a few times in this podcast, but it's okay. You know, you're my boy, bro.
Right.
But like, you know, he always says there's no difference between 2 + 2 = 4 and 2 + 2 = fucking 4. At the end of the day, he had a message. He delivered it. Maybe it hurt some feelings. Maybe he might get canceled. Hopefully he doesn't.
Hopefully he doesn't.
That podcast is, bro. Listen,
I like the podcast. I've seen it before.
I learned so many perspectives on it that, like, I'm like, yo, shit, man. Like, if I grew up with a father, I probably would have learned most of these things during high school and the beginning of college. Because, you know, I'm gonna keep it G. Before I was making good money and I was successful, I was soft with women. Like, I was pretty.
I've been there too.
I was willing to fucking wait a month.
Yeah.
You know, at that point, honestly, if I was literally going to be waiting around for a specific girl in 1 month, I would have been seeing other people. But I would have just been like, you know what? You know, let me be loyal without the title of boyfriend and girlfriend. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, at the end
I would have gotten satisfied. Period.
At the end of the day, what this is describing is that sex literally rules everything. Like the cycle of evolution. Like people aren't going to be with, I'm not going to be with my girlfriend if I can't have sex with her. If I can't reproduce with her. There's no point of a relationship if you can't have a sexual interaction, right? That's what a relationship is. It's not just the mental connection and the spiritual connection. It's also the sexual relationship and connection that you guys have as well. So,
especially for us men, I think, well, I know sex is a huge part of it. So if you're bringing whack sex to a relationship or not sex at all to a relationship, being straight up, be prepared to catch this man seeing someone else, to be honest.
Right.
Because a man is going to have his needs. And if we're not finding it in a relationship, we're going to find it somewhere else.
100%.
That's it.
That's what we were saying before, though, too. It goes back to what we were saying before. A guy should lay out his intentions. Maybe not right away. Go see how the first date goes and whatever. But
yeah, I mean,
I think it's important.
First date, you don't want to be like, hey, listen, I'm just trying to fuck.
No, you don't. Yeah. That comes off bad.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But I totally get what you're saying, and I understand why why you have your viewpoint on this podcast.
Yeah.
It
just because it's aggressive.
It makes sense. It's aggressive, but it makes sense.
At the end of the day, they make specific points. Do I agree on all 100% of their topics? No, maybe 90 something. Okay, I don't want to
close
get
enough.
Either.
Fresh and fit. You should have Brian on your podcast. Okay.
Yeah, right. That'll be a dream come true.
I mean, you are fresh and fit, so I don't see why not you wouldn't fit the podcast. You fit it great.
Bro. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there specific things that you want to say before we finish off this episode?
Nothing really specific.
Where can they find you?
I just want to say real quick, thank you once again.
Of course.
And I do appreciate this.
Of course,
and
bro.
I would love to be back in the future.
Of course.
When I've accomplished more things in my life. You guys can find me on Instagram, Beach Body Built, no spaces in between, Beach Body Built. YouTube, same thing, Beach Body Built. I just recently started my YouTube channel, but I will be constantly posting content for you guys up there. So if you guys are interested in following my journey, learning about supplements, learning about anything, just hit the subscribe button. It literally takes 2 seconds, and I would highly appreciate that. I'm very open to any questions, so I get a lot of DMs regarding health and fitness and stuff like that, lifestyle, and I answer everybody. So that's where you guys could find me, on Instagram, YouTube.
There you go, guys. Subscribe, follow him, and don't forget to subscribe to the Abarcast. Don't forget to follow the Abarcast on Spotify. Don't forget to follow abarca.fitness. Guys, this was a phenomenal episode. We learned a lot. We learned about, bodybuilding. We learned about the macros. We learned about testosterone. We learned about the levels, the literally medical papers of this guy, and explaining T by T. No fun intended.
The
breakdown of it. And we spoke about relationships. All right. So I appreciate you guys. Love you all, and have a good night.
Wait. We gotta take our shot.
Shit.
We gotta take our shot. Man. Come on.
Dude, a toast.
We gotta take a toast.
You're right. A toast to your competition. I hope you make first place.
Thank you.
All right. With all the grind and blood, sweat, and tears. If you don't mind just grabbing a pair of shot glasses, whichever ones you want.
I like these, Abarcast. Come on.
You like that?
Should have had these the whole
time. All right.
time.
So this guy is very tight on his calories. So he told me he cannot black out with me here.
Yeah, so no drinking for the next couple months.
We're going to hit the gym after this.
Yeah.
So I figured, why not take a shot of a pre-workout? It's only fair, right?
Uh-huh. You got it?
There you go.
Fruit punch. C4. This is a dangerous pre-workout, guys. Be careful.
It doesn't send me to the bathroom, though.
All right. That's good.
A good thing.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro. Salute.
All right, guys.
You're going to be first place. Love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and follow him, all right? Have a good night.